Hello, my dear friends, and welcome back to another effective episode here, the channel where you practice your English while learning something meaningful about life. I'm really happy that you're here today. Thank you for spending your time with me. Every episode of this podcast is a small step to help you build your English skills and also help you grow as a person. Today's topic is very special. It's called Become Who You Really Are. At first, it might sound a little strange. You might think, aren't I already who I am? That's a good question. The truth is, many people live their lives without really knowing themselves deeply. We often do what other people expect us to do. We try to fit in, to be liked, or to please others. Sometimes we forget to listen to our own hearts. Become who you really are means learning to understand yourself, accept yourself, and live a life that feels true to you. Why is this topic important for everyone, especially for English learners like you? Because learning a language is not only about grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. It's also about communication, expressing your thoughts, your emotions, and your identity. When you learn to become your real self, your communication becomes stronger and more natural. You speak with more confidence. You start using English not just as a school subject, but as a way to share who you are with the world. In this episode, we will explore what it truly means to become who you are. We will talk about how to know yourself better, how to accept yourself, and how to grow into the person you want to be. We will also discuss some common challenges people face on this journey, like fear of judgment, self-doubt, or comparison with others, and how to deal with them. Don't worry, everything will be explained in simple English, with examples and ideas you can use in your daily life. So, as you listen today, try to relax and think about yourself. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be honest with yourself. This episode is not only about English words. It's about discovering your inner voice and giving it a chance to speak. By the end of this episode, I hope you will feel inspired to take small steps toward your true self. And of course, to continue with more confidence and joy. Let's begin this journey together to become who you really are. The meaning of become who you really are. When we talk about becoming who you really are, it sounds simple, but in real life, it can be very difficult. Many people in the world are not truly living as themselves. Instead, they live according to what others expect from them. From a very young age, we are taught to follow rules, traditions, and ideas about what a good person should be. Our parents, teachers, friends, and even social media tell us how to act, what to wear, what kind of job is successful, and even what dreams are worth having. Slowly, without realizing it, we start to live a life that is not completely ours. We try to fit into a picture that someone else created for us. For example, imagine a person who always wanted to be an artist. They love painting and drawing, but their parents believe that being an artist is not a real job. They want their child to become a doctor or an engineer because that sounds safer or more respected. So the person decides to study medicine even though they don't really enjoy it. On the outside, they look successful, but inside, they feel empty and confused. They wake up every morning and ask themselves, "Why am I doing this?" This is what happens when we live according to others' expectations instead of our own truth. Sometimes we even pretend to be someone else because we are afraid. We fear that if people see our real personality, they might not like us or accept us. So we hide behind a mask. We laugh when we don't really want to. We agree with opinions we don't believe in. We join conversations or activities that don't make us happy, just to feel like we belong. This kind of pretending may make life easier for a short time, but in the long run, it makes us tired and unhappy. We start losing connection with our true self, the real me that lives inside. Society also adds pressure. It tells us we must be successful, beautiful, popular, or rich to be valuable. When we constantly compare ourselves with others, maybe with people on social media or friends who seem to have it all, we start to think that we are not good enough. We forget that every person has a different story and a different path. Becoming who you really are means accepting that your path may not look like anyone else's. And that's perfectly okay. Being true to yourself brings a deep sense of peace and happiness. When you live as your real self, you don't have to pretend anymore. You don't have to waste your energy trying to fit in or impress others. You can simply be. You start to feel more comfortable in your own skin. You make choices that match your heart, and your daily life feels lighter and more meaningful. For example, when you spend time doing things you truly love, like reading, cooking, dancing, helping others, or learning something new, you feel alive. You feel connected to your purpose. That's the kind of quiet joy that comes from being authentic. Of course, discovering who you really are is not something that happens in one day. It takes time, honesty, and patience. It's a journey, not a race. You will change, learn, and grow along the way. You might make mistakes or feel lost sometimes, and that's normal. Every experience, even the difficult ones, can teach you something about yourself. The important thing is to keep asking, is this really me? Is this what I want? Those small questions will slowly guide you closer to your true self. So, when we say, become who you really are, we are not talking about becoming someone new. We are talking about coming back to yourself, the real you that was always there, hidden under fear, pressure, and expectations. It's about remembering your true nature, your unique voice, and your own dreams. It's about choosing honesty over pretending, peace over pressure, and self-love over comparison. As we continue this episode, we will go deeper into this idea. In the next part, we'll talk about how to know yourself better, how to look inside and truly understand your thoughts, feelings, and values. Because the first step in becoming who you really are is learning who that person actually is. So, take a deep breath and get ready. The journey toward your true self continues right after this. Benefits of being yourself. When you start becoming who you really are, something wonderful happens. Your life begins to feel lighter, happier, and more peaceful. Being yourself may seem simple, but it brings many important benefits that affect every part of your life: your mind, your body, and your relationships with others. Let's talk about some of these benefits and see how they appear in daily life. The first and most obvious benefit is more happiness and peace. When you stop pretending or trying to be someone else, you no longer waste energy worrying about what others think. You can enjoy the little things in life without stress. For example, imagine a student who always pretends to like sports just to fit in at school. They may feel tired and frustrated because they are not doing what they really enjoy. But when they start joining an art club, writing stories, or painting, things that feel natural to them, they feel joy and calmness inside. Being yourself allows you to live with more happiness because your actions match your heart. Another benefit is better relationships. When you are honest about who you are, people can see the real you. True friends, colleagues, or family members will connect with the real person, not a mask. For example, at work, if you always try to act like someone else to impress your boss, your relationships may feel tense or false. But when you are polite, hardworking, and authentic, your colleagues respect you and enjoy being around you. Similarly, with friends, if you share your true thoughts, interests, and feelings, your friendships become stronger and more meaningful. Being yourself helps you attract people who appreciate you for who you really are. Being yourself also brings more confidence. When you live honestly and follow your own path, you no longer compare yourself to others or pretend to be perfect. Confidence comes from understanding your strengths and weaknesses, accepting yourself, and making decisions based on your values. For example, a student who accepts that they are quiet may feel nervous speaking in class at first, but over time, they realize their careful thinking and good listening make them valuable in group projects. They start to feel proud of who they are. Confidence grows naturally when you stop fighting yourself and start trusting yourself. Another important benefit is less stress. Pretending to be someone else, trying to please everyone, or hiding your true feelings can be exhausting. It can make your mind feel heavy and restless. When you are yourself, you don't carry this extra weight. Your decisions are easier, your heart feels lighter, and even small daily tasks become more enjoyable. For instance, someone who always smiles to hide sadness may feel tired all the time. But when they allow themselves to express emotions honestly and seek support from friends or family, they feel relief and comfort. Being yourself reduces stress because you no longer live a life that doesn't belong to you. In daily life, these benefits show up in small but meaningful ways. At school, you may participate in activities you enjoy rather than copying your classmates. At work, you may focus on tasks that fit your strengths and values. With friends, you may speak your mind and share your feelings openly. Over time, these choices create a life that is more joyful, peaceful, and confident. In short, being yourself is not just about personal satisfaction. It improves every part of your life. You feel happier, build better relationships, gain confidence, and experience less stress. It may seem like a simple choice, but it has a big impact. When you become who you really are, life starts to feel easier, lighter, and more beautiful. because you are finally living in harmony with yourself. How to find who you really are. Now that we understand what it means to become who you really are, the next big question is, how can we actually find out who we are? This is not always an easy question to answer. Sometimes life moves so fast that we forget to stop and listen to ourselves. We follow routines, do what others do, and forget to ask, is this really what I want? But don't worry. Finding yourself is a gentle process. It doesn't happen in one day, but there are small, simple steps you can take to start this journey. One of the first and most important steps is to spend time alone. Many people are afraid of being alone, but alone time is not the same as being lonely. It's a chance to listen to your own thoughts without noise from the world. When you sit quietly, maybe go for a walk, sit in a park, or just stay in your room without your phone, you can start to hear your real voice. Ask yourself simple questions. What do I enjoy doing? What makes me feel peaceful? For example, Anna, a busy student, used to spend all her time with friends. She never had time alone. But when she started taking short solo walks every evening, she realized she loved photography. That small moment of silence helped her discover something new about herself. Another way to find who you are is to try new things. We often don't know what we like until we experience it. Trying new activities helps you understand yourself better. You might discover new interests or even new parts of your personality. For example, maybe you think you don't like sports, but when you try swimming, you feel relaxed and happy. Or maybe you start learning guitar and realize that music helps you express your emotions. The more you explore, the more you learn about what feels right for you. Life is full of options. You just need to give yourself permission to explore. It's also important to listen to your heart, not only to others. People around us will always have opinions, parents, friends, teachers, or colleagues. Their advice can be helpful, but at the end of the day, you are the one living your life. Only you can feel what is right for you. Listening to your heart means paying attention to that quiet inner voice that says, "This feels right," or "This doesn't feel like me." For example, Mark wanted to study business because his friends said it would help him make money. But deep down, he loved teaching. When he finally followed his heart and became a teacher, he felt more alive and confident than ever before. That's the power of trusting your own inner voice. Another step is to notice your feelings. Your emotions can tell you a lot about who you are. When you feel happy, calm, or excited, it's a sign that something matches your true self. When you feel bored, stressed, or uncomfortable, maybe it's not right for you. For instance, if you always feel tired after spending time with certain people or doing a certain job, it may mean those things don't fit your real personality. Pay attention to these small feelings. They are like signals from your heart showing you the way. You also need to accept both your weaknesses and your strengths. Many people focus only on their weaknesses and forget about their good qualities. But real self-knowledge means seeing the whole picture. You don't have to be perfect to be real. Maybe you're shy, but you're also a great listener. Maybe you're not good at math, but you're creative and kind. Every person is made of light and shadow, and both parts are valuable. Accepting yourself gives you peace and confidence. It's like saying, "This is who I am, and that's okay." For example, Sarah used to feel bad because she was not as confident as her friends. But later, she realized her quiet nature made her thoughtful and patient. When she accepted that, she started to feel happier and more comfortable in her own skin. Another powerful step is to write or talk about your dreams. Writing helps you understand what's inside your mind. You can keep a small journal where you write about your day, your feelings, or your hopes for the future. You don't need to write perfect sentences, just honest ones. If you prefer speaking, you can also talk to someone you trust, or even record voice notes for yourself. When you express your thoughts out loud or on paper, they become clearer. For example, one day you might write, "I want to help people," and later you realize that you want to study psychology or social work. Writing helps you see patterns and understand what truly matters to you. Finding who you really are is not a one-time task. It's a lifelong process. You will keep learning new things about yourself as you grow and face new experiences. Some days, you'll feel clear and confident. Other days, you might feel lost, and that's perfectly fine. The important thing is to keep going, to stay curious, and to stay kind to yourself. Each small step, spending time alone, trying something new, listening to your heart, noticing your feelings, accepting yourself, and expressing your dreams brings you closer to your true self. So, take your time, explore, and enjoy the process. Remember, you are not trying to create a new person. You are uncovering the person who has always been inside you. Accepting yourself. When we talk about becoming who you really are, one very important part of that journey is accepting yourself. Many people try to change themselves to be like others. They try to hide their personality, their past, or their mistakes. But real happiness starts when you stop fighting against yourself and begin to accept who you are, completely and honestly. Accepting yourself means saying, "Yes, this is me. I have good sides and bad sides. I have made mistakes, and I have also learned from them." It means looking at your whole life, your personality, your past, your experiences, and seeing them as part of your story. You don't have to be proud of everything you've done, but you can still accept that it all belongs to you. Every experience has helped you become the person you are today. For example, think about a time when you made a mistake and couldn't stop thinking about it. Maybe you said something wrong to a friend, or failed an exam, or lost a job. Many people keep these memories and feel guilty or ashamed for a long time. But when you accept your mistakes, you understand that everyone fails sometimes, and that failure is just another way to learn. You can say to yourself, "I made a mistake, but that doesn't mean I'm a bad person. I'm human, and I can try again." That simple thought can change how you feel about yourself. Another part of self-acceptance is learning to love your personality. Maybe you're quiet and shy, or maybe you're loud and full of energy. Sometimes people tell us that we should be different, more social, more serious, more strong, more calm, and we start to believe that something is wrong with us. but there's no single right way to be. Every personality brings something special to the world. For example, quiet people often listen deeply and notice details that others miss. Energetic people bring excitement and new ideas. The world needs both. When you accept your personality, you stop comparing yourself to others and start feeling more comfortable in your own skin. It's also important to accept your past. You cannot change what happened before, but you can choose how you see it now. Maybe you have regrets or painful memories. Instead of trying to erase them, you can learn from them. Each part of your past, even the difficult moments, has taught you something important. Maybe it made you stronger, more understanding, or more kind. For example, someone who went through a hard breakup may later become more caring and respectful in their next relationship. Pain can become wisdom if you allow yourself to grow from it. When you accept yourself fully, something beautiful happens. You start to feel confident. Confidence is not about thinking you are perfect. It's about knowing your real self and feeling okay with it. You no longer need to pretend or hide. You can show up as you are, natural, honest, and free. For example, if you accept that you speak English with an accent, you stop feeling embarrassed and start focusing on communication instead of perfection. You become more relaxed and confident in speaking. That's the power of acceptance. Self-acceptance doesn't mean you stop improving. It means you improve from a place of love, not hate. You can still set goals, work hard, and grow. But you do it while being kind to yourself. Instead of saying, "I'm not good enough," you say, "I'm learning," and that's okay. This positive mindset gives you strength and peace. So remember, nobody is perfect. Everyone has their own struggles, fears, and insecurities. Even people who seem confident. The more you accept yourself, the lighter you feel. You start to understand that you don't need to become someone else to be worthy or happy. You are already enough. Accepting yourself is one of the bravest and most beautiful things you can do. It's like finally saying yes to your own heart. And when you do that, you open the door to true confidence, peace, and freedom. How to become that person. Now that you know yourself better and have learned to accept who you are, the next step is to become that person in your daily life. Knowing who you are is only the beginning. The real change happens when you start living as your true self, step by step, choice by choice. You don't need to change everything at once. You just need to take small, honest actions that match the person you want to be. The first thing to do is to express yourself honestly. This means speaking and acting in a way that feels true to your heart. If you don't agree with something, it's okay to say it politely. If you have an idea, don't hide it. For example, if you love art but your friends are into sports, it's okay to talk about painting or drawing instead of pretending to like something else. The more you express your real thoughts and feelings, the more you will feel free. Remember, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be real. The second step is to take small steps toward your real self. Sometimes we wait for the right moment to start living our truth, but that moment is now. You can begin with little things. If you discovered that you love writing, Start by writing a few lines every day. If you want to be kinder, smile at someone today. Small actions are powerful because they slowly build habits. Over time, these small steps create big changes. Next, try to stop pretending or comparing. Pretending to be someone else or comparing yourself with others only takes you away from your true path. You are not supposed to live someone else's life. You are supposed to live yours. Social media, movies, or people around you may make you feel that you need to be richer, more beautiful, or more successful. But that's not true. Every person has a different story. When you stop comparing, you start respecting your own journey. Another helpful idea is to notice yourself, choose your values, and act on them. Knowing yourself means you already understand what matters to you. Choosing your values means deciding what kind of person you want to be. Honest, kind, creative, peaceful, or brave. When you know your values, you can choose small actions that match them. For example, if kindness is your value, you can help someone in need or simply speak gently to others. If learning is your value, spend 10 minutes reading every day. It's not about doing big things. It's about doing small things that reflect who you are. As you take these steps, remember to build your confidence slowly. Confidence doesn't appear overnight. It grows with every small action, every honest word, and every time you try again after failing. When you make a mistake, don't be too hard on yourself. Be kind to yourself. You are learning and growing, and that's beautiful. Instead of saying, "I failed," try saying, "I learned something new today." Every mistake is just a part of your progress. One of the best things you can do for yourself is to treat yourself like a friend. You probably forgive your friends when they make mistakes, right? So do the same for yourself. Celebrate your little victories. Speak kindly to yourself. When you feel tired or sad, remind yourself that it's okay. You are human. You are learning how to live more honestly. Becoming who you really are is not about becoming someone different. It's about becoming real. It's about living your truth with courage and kindness, even when the world tries to make you something else. You don't need to rush. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to take one small step at a time. Every honest action, every kind thought, and every brave choice brings you closer to your true self. And that's how you become that person. Not by changing who you are, but by finally allowing yourself to be who you've always been. Growing into your true self. Once you start knowing yourself and begin to live more honestly, the next part of the journey is to grow into your true self. Growth is not something that happens in one day. It's a slow and beautiful process, like a tree growing from a small seed into something strong and full of life. Becoming who you really are means allowing yourself to grow, to change, to learn, and to become better while staying true to your heart. Growth is an important part of being yourself because life never stands still. Every experience you have, every challenge, success, and even failure, teaches you something new about yourself. The person you were 5 years ago is not the same as the person you are now. And that's okay. It's natural. The key is to keep learning and moving forward in a direction that feels right for you. You don't need to grow to impress others. You grow so that you can live a life that feels more real and meaningful. A good way to grow into your true self is to set small goals that match your values. Goals help you stay focused and give you a sense of direction. But they should come from your heart, not from social pressure. If kindness is one of your values, maybe your goal can be to help one person every day. If creativity is your value, your goal could be to spend 15 minutes a day writing, drawing, or creating something new. These goals don't need to be big. What matters is that they match who you are inside. When your goals are connected to your values, every small step feels meaningful. Growth also means learning new skills and breaking your fears. Many people stop themselves from trying new things because they are afraid. Afraid of failing, afraid of being judged, or afraid of not being good enough. But real growth begins when you step outside your comfort zone. Even small steps of courage can make a big difference. For example, imagine a person who has always wanted to paint but never tried because they thought, "I'm not talented." One day, they decide to paint for just 10 minutes each week. Slowly, they begin to enjoy it. After a few months, they notice that their paintings look better, and they feel happier and more confident. That's what growth looks like. Small actions repeated with love and patience. Another part of growing into your true self is learning to stay kind to yourself during the process. Growth is not always easy. Sometimes you will feel stuck or make mistakes. Sometimes you will take one step forward and 2 steps back. That's normal. What matters is that you don't give up. Be patient with yourself. Talk to yourself kindly, the way you would talk to a friend. Remember, growth is not a straight line. It's a journey full of lessons. You can also help your growth by paying attention to your progress. Look back from time to time and notice how far you've come. Maybe you are more confident now, or more calm, or more honest. Even small changes matter. Celebrate them. Every small improvement is a sign that you're growing closer to your true self. And don't forget, growth never means becoming perfect. Perfection is impossible and unnecessary. True growth means becoming more you. It means becoming more open, more brave, more loving, and more aware of what matters to you. You don't have to be the best. You just have to keep learning and trying, one step at a time. So, as you continue your journey, remember this. You are growing every single day, even if you don't notice it. Every time you make an honest choice, face a fear, or do something kind for yourself or others, you are becoming more like your real self. Keep going. Be patient. Be kind. And trust the process. Because growing into your true self is not about reaching a final destination. It's about enjoying the journey of becoming the person you were always meant to be. Common mistakes and how to fix them. Becoming who you really are is a wonderful journey, but it is not always easy. Many people try to be themselves, but face challenges along the way. Sometimes we make mistakes in our thinking or actions without even realizing it. The good news is that these mistakes are normal, and we can fix them with small changes and patience. Today, let's talk about some common mistakes people make when trying to be themselves, and how you can handle them in simple, practical ways. The first common mistake is thinking that you must change everything at once. Some people believe that if they want to be true to themselves, they have to change all their habits, personality, or life choices immediately. This is a big mistake because it can make you feel overwhelmed and frustrated. Change takes time. You don't need to transform everything at once. Instead, focus on small steps. For example, if you love painting but have never tried it, you can start by painting for 10 minutes each week. If you want to speak more honestly to your friends, start by saying one true sentence a day. Small actions may seem tiny, but over time, they create real, lasting change. Remember, slow progress is still progress. The second common mistake is comparing yourself to others. We all see people on social media, at work, or at school, and sometimes it feels like everyone is better than us. Maybe someone is more successful, smarter, or more confident. But comparison is dangerous because it takes you away from your own journey. Everyone has a different path, different skills, and different dreams. The solution is to use your values as a guide. Focus on what is important to you, not what is important to others. For example, if kindness is your value, measure yourself by how kind you are, not by how popular someone else is. If creativity is your value, notice the small creative things you do each day. Your growth should be based on your heart, not on other people's lives. The third common mistake is bad self-talk. This is when you tell yourself things like, "I can't," "I'm not good enough," or "I will fail." Many people do this without realizing it, but negative self-talk stops you from taking action and makes you feel insecure. The simple fix is to use positive sentences, even short ones. For example, instead of saying, "I can't do this," say, "I try my best." Instead of, "I am not enough," say, "I am learning." Even small positive words can change how you feel. Over time, these words build confidence and courage. Another simple but important piece of advice is to believe in yourself, take small steps, and stay patient. You don't need to be perfect, and you don't need to rush. Growth, honesty, and self-acceptance all take time. Every small action matters. Every mistake is a lesson. Every moment of self-kindness brings you closer to the real you. When fear of judgment, comparison, or failure appears, remind yourself, it is normal to feel this way. You are learning. You are trying. You are enough just as you are. Sometimes it helps to write down your mistakes and solutions. For example, you can keep a small notebook with a list like this. I compare myself. Solution, focus on my values. Or, I speak negatively. Solution, say positive sentences. Seeing your mistakes and solutions clearly makes them easier to handle. You can check your progress and celebrate the small successes. Finally, remember that mistakes are not failures. Mistakes are signs that you are trying, learning, and growing. Everyone makes them, even people who seem confident or successful. The difference is that they notice their mistakes and fix them step by step. You can do the same. Treat yourself with patience and love. Celebrate your small steps. Keep your goals simple and connected to your values. Speak kindly to yourself. And never forget, being yourself is a journey, not a destination. By avoiding these common mistakes and following simple, practical fixes, your journey to becoming who you really are becomes much easier and happier. You will feel more confident, peaceful, and free every day. Living as your true self. Once you have spent time discovering yourself, accepting who you are, and taking small steps toward your real self, the next step is living as your true self. This means bringing your honesty, values, and personality into your daily life. When you live authentically, it changes not only how you feel about yourself, but also how other people see and treat you. Being yourself may seem simple, but it has a big effect on your relationships, your work, your school life, and your happiness every day. Living as your true self helps people respect your authenticity. When you are honest and consistent in your actions, words, and feelings, people notice it. They understand that you are not pretending or trying to be someone else. For example, a colleague at work who always tells the truth and speaks kindly is respected more than someone who pretends to agree with everyone. A friend who expresses their real feelings instead of hiding them builds stronger, deeper relationships. People naturally feel comfortable around someone authentic because they know what to expect, and trust grows easily. Living authentically also changes your daily life in small but meaningful ways. When you start expressing your true thoughts and feelings, you feel lighter and less stressed. For example, if you are invited to a social event you don't enjoy, you can politely say, "I will pass this time," instead of pretending to like it. If you prefer reading instead of playing sports, you can spend time reading and enjoying it fully. Simple actions like these may seem small, but they make life more peaceful and meaningful. You start living according to your heart, not according to pressure or expectations from others. Another important part of living as your true self is expressing your thoughts and feelings honestly. This does not mean being rude or hurtful. It means sharing what you think and feel in a kind and respectful way. For example, if a friend asks for your opinion on a project, you can share your honest advice politely. If a teacher asks how you feel about a task, you can answer truthfully. When you express yourself, you show your real self to the world. Over time, this builds confidence and courage, and you start trusting yourself more. Small daily actions can show your authenticity in simple ways. Smile when you feel happy. Apologize when you make a mistake. Say thank you when you appreciate someone. Or take a quiet moment alone if you need it. These small gestures reflect honesty, kindness, and self-awareness. Every day, you can practice being authentic in small ways, and over time, it becomes natural. Living as your true self also brings inner peace. You no longer have to hide or pretend. You feel free to enjoy your hobbies, share your ideas, and make choices that match your values. Life becomes more joyful because you are living according to who you really are, not according to what others expect. You may notice that people around you respond positively too. They respect your honesty, value your presence, and enjoy connecting with you. Remember, living as your true self is a journey. You will not be perfect all the time, and that is okay. Some days you may feel afraid or uncertain. On those days, take small steps. Speak one true sentence. Make one small choice. Or do one thing that matches your heart. Every honest action counts. Every small step builds your confidence and strengthens your authenticity. When you live authentically, life becomes simpler, more peaceful, and more meaningful. Your relationships improve, your mind feels lighter, and you feel proud of yourself. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be real. Living as your true self is not only about who you are, it is about how you share that real self with the world every day. Reflection and practical tips. Now that we have talked about discovering yourself, accepting who you are, and living authentically, it's time to take a moment to reflect. Reflection helps you understand what you have learned and how to apply it in your daily life. It gives you a chance to think deeply about who you really are and what matters to you. This is an important step in becoming the person you were always meant to be. Let's start by asking a few simple but powerful questions. Take a moment to think about them. You can even pause this podcast and write your answers in a notebook. The first question is, who are you when you are alone? Without anyone watching, without anyone judging, what do you truly enjoy? What makes you feel comfortable and happy? The second question is, what makes you feel alive? Which activities, ideas, or moments bring you energy, joy, or peace? And the third question is, are you living your own dream, or are you trying to live someone else's? Sometimes we follow the expectations of family, friends, or society without noticing. Reflection helps you understand if you are living your life authentically. After thinking about these questions, it is helpful to use practical tips to become more authentic every day. Here are a few simple steps you can start with. First, spend a few minutes alone each day to notice your thoughts and feelings. This could be sitting quietly with a cup of tea, going for a short walk, or simply listening to your favorite music. Small moments of self-awareness help you connect with your real self. Second, try one new thing that excites you. This can be a hobby, a sport, a creative activity, or learning something new. Even if it feels small, trying something different helps you discover what feels right for you. For example, you may try writing, painting, or cooking, and notice which activity makes you happy and engaged. Third, speak and act honestly, even in small ways. Share your true opinion politely. Say how you feel, or express appreciation. These small acts of honesty strengthen your confidence and show the world who you really are. Fourth, be kind to yourself every day. Accept your mistakes, celebrate your small successes, and remind yourself that you are growing step by step. Simple words like, I try my best, or I am learning, can make a big difference in how you feel and how you approach life. Finally, reflection is not only about thinking, it can also be about writing down your thoughts. Keep a small notebook and write answers to the reflection questions, your feelings after trying new things, or small actions you took to be authentic. This helps you notice progress and inspires you to keep growing. Remember, becoming who you really are is a journey, not a destination. There is no rush, no perfect timing. Every small step matters. Every honest choice matters, and every moment of self-kindness matters. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be real. Life feels lighter, relationships feel stronger, and your heart feels happier when you live authentically. As a final motivational message, I want to say this to you. You are enough just as you are. You have unique strengths, dreams, and ideas. Take small steps every day to honor yourself and your journey. Be patient, be kind, and trust yourself. And here is a simple action you can take right now. Think or write about who you are, what makes you happy, and what small step you can take today to express your real self. If you enjoyed this episode and want to keep learning English while growing as a person, make sure to subscribe